Outback Australia, an unforgiving territory and a land of amazing creatures, where sometimes nature needs a helping hand. These are the everyday heroes bound by a single mission: to save wildlife anywhere, anytime. On Outback Wildlife Rescue, fishing for crocs, reeling in a dangerous tourist attraction.
He's getting a little bit too friendly with the tourists and he chased someone yesterday.
Yoda the koalas fight for life.
Certainly got some injuries that puts him in a critical position.
And a jailbird wallaby gets sprung to freedom. Australia's wildlife is as diverse as its landscape, from the tropical Queensland coast to the Northern Territory and monsoonal Darwin and the nearby Kakadu wetlands, and on 1,500 kilometres to the red deserts of Alice Springs and beyond. Darwin's waterways are peaceful places normally. A nice place to be. You can't move for all the nature. But there are beasts among the beauty. This is Fog Dam, a popular tourist destination. And it's Ranger Tommy Nichols' job to make sure the crocs don't get too friendly with the visitors. Particularly crocs with an attitude problem.
It's a very popular place for tourists. A lot of tourists come down here doing a lot of bird watching, and there's a lot of snakes which come across the barrage here, and also the fish life inside. There are a number of crocs in this area. Here now there's a little freshwater croc. He's getting a little bit too friendly with the tourists and he chased someone yesterday. He chased two lots of people, so he's been getting too aggressive. So we're going to have to catch this particular animal so there's no one gets bitten and there's no problems.
Freshwater crocodiles are smaller than their saltwater cousins and less dangerous. But this one's fearless, with an ugly temper. The harpoon doesn't harm the croc. Its shallow barbs only just pierce his tough hide. They say it's not the size of the croc in the fight that matters, but the size of the fight in the croc.
I think you can lock that in there.
A freshie's snout is much narrower than a saltie's. Should be easier to rope. He's not. Those teeth are small but needle sharp, perfect for grabbing fish or a stray hand. He's just too little to win this fight, but he's used to that. These guys tend to stay inland, in freshwater. They can't compete against the bigger salties near the coast.
You got the tape there? When Robbie was about to harpoon him, he started blowing himself up, so he was very aggressive. And he wasn't going to move. He was going to have a go at anyone who was approaching him or coming close to him. So something stirred him up. He's just one of those animals. He's a rogue animal. He just doesn't like people, which he's proven in the last few days when he's been attacking a couple of groups of people walking across the causeway here. There we go. That would have been a good one.
It doesn't look pretty, but the short barbs of the harpoon are easily removed without causing long-term damage.
The skin just hangs under those barbs, that's all it is. And a harpoon head like this will pull up a 4-metre croc. No worries.
So at least we've caught him because he's a freshwater croc. We will relocate him in another area.
So Tommy and the boys have to find somewhere safe to release this guy. But the freshie isn't the last croc they'll be dealing with today. In Beerwah, Queensland, the Wildlife Hospital is facing the casualties of the night before. That usually means a clinic full of koalas, and today's no different.
This was a car hit koala from last night. Came in about 10:30 last night. As you can see, he's obviously been scraped across the road and he's got some head injuries and a lot of swelling around his face here.
He's in bad shape. Amber's named him Yoda.
So he's got quite a nasty laceration down the bottom of his chin here. Basically, the gum and the bottom of his chin has been pulled off the area of bone. I'm just going to x-ray his face just to see if we've got any fractures. At this stage, there's none that I can feel, but there may be a fracture under the eye or in the cheekbone. Just push him that way a little bit.
Koalas walk between trees at night. It makes them vulnerable to car hits or dog attacks.
X-ray. There's quite a distinct fracture down below that lower incisor on his bottom jaw. There doesn't seem to be any fractures in the cheekbones, which is good.
Yoda's fracture is in a difficult place. The vets have to decide now whether to pin the fracture or sew the skin back over it and let nature take its course.
The trouble we have in mouths, as in any bone repair, I guess, is if it's been exposed to the outside, certainly the mouth is full of bacteria. If we put an implant in, whether it be a screw or a wire or a pin or whatever, the implant tends to track infection in, so they're really prone to getting bone infections if we use an implant in a dirty environment.
But Yoda's got other problems. He's fighting to survive.
He's also got some bleeding in his abdomen, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. He's certainly got some injuries that puts him in a critical position at the moment.
She's putting a brave face on it, but Amber doesn't like his chances of survival. Now this is a wildlife rescue story with a difference. It starts behind the wire at Darwin's correctional facility.
A lot of people would think that it's quite daunting coming here to the prison, but I actually really like it. It's really good to see what these guys are doing with the animals. They're looked after really well, and they're fed quite well, and it's really good coming here.
A funny thing's happened on the cell block. There's been a takeover. Injured wallabies and possums and birds rule the roost, and the prisoners love it.
Makes a bit of a difference when you wake up and see live wallabies bounce around on the lawn. It's a different feeling, it's good.
We've got about 5, 6 or something.
Oh, good. So you got room for more?
About a year ago, the Ark Animal Hospital started a program sending recuperating animals out here for inmates to look after 24/7.
The prisoners, grabbed hold of it and ran with it and thought it was a great idea. So from there it expanded to, 41 animals and quite a large food production area.
Today's special because the first wallaby to enter the program is about to be released. Abby was an orphan, thin and scrawny when she came here, but an inmate has nursed her back to health.
Yeah, here we go. You're all right.
Hey,
You're all right.
After 6 months' care, she's done her time. She's ready to be released back to the wild.
Go out and bounce around and do your own thing. Well, she's feisty enough. I don't think the vet will find too much wrong with her. I think she's pretty right, ready to go.
Yep. And you guys have done a great job. She looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just tie her in.
There we go.
For Abby, this has been rehabilitation with a difference. But how will she survive in the wild? Yoda the koala's run-in with the car has left him with a fractured jaw and a nasty cut around his gums.
Yeah, if you could give it a really, really, really good thorough clean out, yeah, you could do that, but geez, we'd have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
The good news is the internal bleeding seems to have stopped. Now, vets Amber and John have to decide whether to pin his fractured jaw.
And I reckon if you put an implant in there, it'd have all sort of issues.
Well, I'll just clean it up and suture it.
Yeah.
They've decided to leave the fracture to heal by itself. But infection could set in, and that would finish him off. Koalas eat nothing but gum leaves, and they rarely drink water. It all comes from the leaves. Amber's surgery will have to be spot on. Tough gum leaves will certainly test her stitching.
This at least won't sort of hinder him chewing on his gum leaves and that sort of thing. It'll just more be a pain factor and ensuring that we don't get food packing into the wound. All right, we can wake him up now, I think.
Amber's stitched up Yoda as best she can. His survival is now in nature's hands. On the Darwin waterways, another croc has surfaced on Tommy's patch. A big salty, too close for comfort.
Right, just got a call from the boys out at Harrison Dam. There's a croc in the trap there. It's an area where waterfowl season has now started, so you've got all the local shooters which are out there shooting ducks and geese. This will be the third one we're taking out of there now, so he didn't give a size of the animal. So what we're going to do is go out and take this animal out of the trap and bring it back.
Tommy has more than 20 specially designed croc traps set around Darwin's waterways. Dead chickens are used to lure crocs in, and something's taken the bait here.
Check her out, Andy, see what size it is.
There's something moving in there.
As you can see, the water is so dirty that we can't see where the croc is.
2 metres, something more like it.
It's a 2-metre saltwater crocodile, a much more dangerous prospect than this morning's freshie.
He's certainly big enough to cause a few problems, give someone a nasty bite, and if he drags someone out in the deeper water, they could quite easily drown, so he's certainly a problem.
This croc is big and strong. And like the freshie, the first step is to control him with a snout rope. He's got him. The boys pull out around 200 crocs a year. It looks routine, and for them it is. But every croc is potentially lethal. One slip and an arm or a leg could disappear into its snout.
There's a certain amount of danger, but the thing is, we've all done it so many times now, we know what to expect. It's done the same way, regardless of the size, every day, so it's just become second nature to you, but you're still checking on safety and each other all the time.
Yep, you ready? Go.
Crocodiles have no vocal cords. They make that growl by blowing air out the back of their throats.
Okay, yeah, that looks like okay to me, yeah.
Chill down there, mate. Chill down.
In times past, this croc would have been shot on sight. Now they're protected in the Northern Territory, so he'll be taken to a commercial breeding farm where he poses no risk to the public.
Sexy fish. Is that male?
He's only a small one, but he still has the possibility to inflict a nasty bite on any human or even drown a kid, so it's good to get him out of there, especially with the amount of people that utilise this area anyway. Let's go, well done.
It's not the end of Tommy's day. There's still that feisty freshie to release, and that croc wants to get his own back. Abby, the jailbird wallaby's in for her final pre-release checkup.
Hello, how you going?
Good, Stephen, how are you?
Not too bad. Who you got there?
This is the wallaby that I picked up from the prison.
Okay. So for release this afternoon?
Yes.
Abby's an agile wallaby. They're common in Australia, and they're also found in New Guinea. They're survivors. Scientists have found agile wallaby fossils dating back 4 million years. But is Abby fit enough to survive the next few months?
She's just a little overweight, which is great because she's going to need a little bit of extra fat for when she's released, just in case it takes her a little while to get used to the wild.
A little tubby but otherwise well, Abby's got her get-out-of-jail-free card. For the first time in her life, she's about to face the big wide world. A 100 kilometres south of Darwin, the residents of Nina's Ark Kangaroo Refuge are being called to lunch. This is a special place, a safe haven for kangaroos and wallabies, some orphaned, some recovering from injuries, and not quite ready to survive on their own. It's become the life's work of wildlife carer Nina Keenis.
I have to say that this is the happiest that I've ever been in my life. I love this. I love what I do. It's so rewarding, and I dedicated the last 10 years to provide an environment, a perfect environment for them to go back to nature. Come on, Rose! There's plenty of room for them to run, exercise, build up their muscles. I know they feel it's safe, and we've put a lot of time into making it safe here for these animals.
It's a staged release for the roos. At first, they're kept inside a large enclosure. Then, gradually, they're allowed through the gate and can venture outside. Finally, they come and go as they please.
And I've got some here that I've released 10 years, and I'm still marking in my calendar that I see them every day.
Now there's a new arrival on the way. Abby, the prison wallaby.
Abby will be the first wallaby that has gone through the prison program and has got to the stage where she's ready to be released.
Abby's life is about to change forever. It's been 2 months since Yoda came in after being hit by a car.
Hey, Yoda. It's time for you to go today.
His fractured jaw and badly cut mouth seem to have done well.
Little man, just a little pinprick. Good boy.
If he checks out okay, he'll be going back to the wild. It's a big day for Yoda.
Okay, little boy. Just put you on that mask.
He'll get a thorough physical to make sure he's in good general health. And then there's his mouth.
Let's have a look at your mouth, Yoda. It looks great. These little green bits are just food matter that's stuck on what remains of the stitches. So I'll be able to take those out today, and it's healed extremely well. It looks really good. I'm very happy with it. I'm just going to x-ray it for the last time just to make sure that fracture site is healed.
Yoda's a fighter. He's become a popular little koala.
He's a special koala too, because it was looking very touch and go when I first saw the fracture.
Everyone's got their fingers crossed Yoda's x-rays are going to be good.
You had some other recent releases, I see? Yeah, we have. We let some go about 8 or 9 days ago, and we're still monitoring them.
Prison wallaby Abby has arrived at Nina's Ark, her new home. It's a big, fenced enclosure, and Abby's used to that. But still, it's a bit like first day at school.
Hello, baby.
She's the new girl, and she's got to learn everything, starting with where the water is.
Water here, the water trough there. She's going to wet her hands. And she's going to go out and lick them because she's a bit stressed. And showing her the trough, she'll remember where it's at. But by wetting her down, she won't have to come back and drink for a little while. How's that, little girl? Hey, you're beautiful. She's in excellent shape.
She's come a long way from that sick little orphan Joey in a prison cell.
Show her where the water was.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere there.
Ready?
She might stand, she might run.
Ready?
I don't think she's going to bolt. No, she's not.
Go, sweetie.
Look at that.
She's looking happy out there.
Yeah, she looks good.
A bit hungry, hey?
And that's what we need. She just hopped off and stopped and had a look around.
Yeah.
Taking a mental picture of where the water is, the area. And scratching around already. She looks like she's been here for a week, doesn't she?
Abby will stay inside the safety of the fence for a couple of months. Then, as her confidence grows, she'll be free to finally take her first hops in the wild.
I always feel good when I'm releasing something and letting it go back to the wild, but I feel even better because this is something that we've worked really hard to achieve, and it's the first of many, and I'm looking forward to having many more to come. So yeah, I feel proud of what we've been achieving.
It's the feisty little crocodile's lucky day.
Okay, well this is the freshie we just caught out at Fog Dam there, and then we're going to release him here at Adelaide River, and he'll have a nice new home.
This place is an hour from Darwin, far enough to keep the croc away from unsuspecting tourists.
Yep, this looks like a good spot.
But releasing him could be tricky. Rob and Andrew have to untie his jaws. And given his temper, he could try to attack them and give them a nasty bite.
All right, go on, get down that hill. Oi.
Having put up such a fight being caught, now he doesn't want to go.
Bit of a touch up around the...
Finally, the feisty freshie is out of harm's way. In Biawar, Yoda's big moment has finally arrived. If his x-rays are clear, today's the day he'll go back to his home turf.
This was the initial x-ray that we took the day that he came in. Then we've taken progressive x-rays since then just to see how it's healing. He's eating very, very well, so we weren't really concerned about it being unstable at all. We just wanted to check its progress and make sure there was no infection starting up. And today's x-ray, you can still see a fracture line, but it appears to be very stable and it's healing quite well.
Yoda doesn't know it, but he's passed with flying colours.
It's been a wonderful outcome and he's done so well in our enclosures. He's adapted really well to being in care. And it's nice to be able to give him a bit of a cuddle before he's going to go.
Koalas are released back into the areas they came from.
Let's find you a good tree, Yoda.
They're fussy eaters and get used to the gum leaves of home. Drop them back into unfamiliar territory and they might stop eating altogether.
See you, little man.
You've been a good boy. We're going to miss you.
We don't want to see you back.
Want to see you back.
We don't want to see you back at all.
You're ready to go, aren't you?
Okay. Here you go. Go for your life. Go, Yoda.
It's where he's meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
He's looking very happy, very settled.
Yeah, he's comfy right up there in that fort. It's always a little bit sad, but you know, this is the best part of my job, being able to release them and get them back to where they came from. That's where they belong. See you, little boy. When they're under your care like that, you can't help but get attached to them, so he's certainly very special. It's always a little bit sad, but you know, this is the best part of my job, being able to release them and get them back to where they came from. That's where they belong.